Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about padding and margin in web design. Padding and margin are the two things that hold all of your content in place. So if you think of your whole website as a box or a series of boxes, like cadence blocks, there are a bunch of boxes that are stacked on top of one another. So the box can have some padding inside. So if you think of a packing box and you put some padding inside it, and then you have an item in the middle that you want to hold in place so it doesn't get damaged or break apart. That's what this text is in the middle. This is your content that's inside that padding, and this is going to be held in place by the padding. Outside the box, you have margin. Margin is pushing things away. So if I had another box right under this, in order to keep them from squishing together, you have margin and that holds them apart. So padding is inside the box, margin is outside the box. Okay, now here's an example. This is a full width image. It has no padding, no margin. It's just taking up the entire screen. And I love full width images, especially for a hero image, because they look spectacular and they really look great. So then if you scroll down and if you have text that's also full width, you can see that this is almost impossible to read. You had to practically move your head from side to side, and just imagine this on a large monitor. It's just very uncomfortable to read and it's not a good user experience. So if we go in the back end here and we edit this, um, if we have our text in a different row layout, a separate row layout from the image, then we can style them separately. So you want to have, that's why you want to use the row layout block to keep everything separated so you can manipulate them. So I have another row layout block here under the image, and you can see here that it's set for full width. So if I just change that to wide width, it brings everything in and it's just so much more comfortable. Um, if we go down here to this example, so this is a website where, or a section where there's no padding or inside here. It's narrow, you can read it, but it just looks like everything is squished up against the color space, and it really could use some breathing room. So if we just click into that box and make sure we have the entire section, and you can see here it's outlined in blue, and then we come over here, we can add some padding in here, and let's just say we do 20. And you can see how that moved that right down, and 20, and 20, and 20. So it's moved everything in. So it takes a break. You can see what's going on in there. And of course, a shortcut to do this would be to hit the little linked symbol right there, and you can just put 20. That will put the 20 pixels of padding all the way around. If you don't have them linked, you can actually change them. Maybe you want more on the left. We could do 40 in there, and you see how that moved it over. Okay, so that's how you give everything a little bit of breathing room inside. Um, Padding and margin in button design. This is really important. If here's a button with not enough padding. Now, usually a button might just say, learn more. It's short. So especially on mobile, when somebody goes to click that button, they may not hit it. They may hit other things on the page if it's not big enough. So you want to add some padding inside a button just to give it more space so that people can hit it. And that also helps with accessibility as well. So you want to be aware of that. What's this going to look like on mobile? How are people going to be able to hit that with their finger? Obviously, this button has too much padding. It doesn't even look like a button anymore. It looks like just a section, so people wouldn't even know to click on that. But if we click on this button and we go over to Advanced and we add some padding, let's add 10 pixels, and I'm gonna do them all together. Okay, so 10 pixels, and that adds it all the way around the button. Now, I like to add more padding on the left and right hand side of a button. It just makes it look better. It doesn't look so top heavy. So, I'm sorry, that's top. If you add maybe 15 on the right and 15 on the left, it just looks better. It's more well designed. And yeah, this one is just ridiculous. All right, so here's the button that has no margins. And again, it's a crowded feeling. So if we click down on that button and we go and just add some margin on the top, we're going to just make it say 20 pixels. And you can see the difference. It just gives it some breathing room. You can tell that there's a button there, and you can tell that you're supposed to click on it. Here's an example with the margin, and it just looks so much better. Now let's talk about images, because you can use padding and margin with images as well. Here's the first image. This one has no padding and no margin. Okay, so I added a red border around a 10 pixel red border around the image so you could see what I'm demonstrating. Okay, this is a duplicate of that first one, but this one has padding all around it. So this one has no padding, and this one has 50 pixels of padding all around it. And you can see when I hover over these, it turns green where the padding is. And so you can see that that makes a big difference. The red border is the outside of the block or the box that we were talking about. The image is the content or the stuff that you're trying to hold in place. And the white space is the padding inside the box. Now on this one, I duplicated it and then I added margin. So when I hover over this, you can see that margin. That margin is holding it in place on the outside. So the padding is still on the inside, holding the image together in one place. The margin is holding the entire box into a certain place, and it's giving it room, above the box and below it, and even on the sides. Um, this next image has a negative margin. I wanted to just pull it off the side of the page. And you can do this. Imagine if you had a large picture and you wanted to have it just go off the side of the page. Maybe you're going to put some text next to it, and the image will be pulled off the edge of the screen, really. You can do something like that. It's interesting to do this. So I still have the 50 pixels of padding all around. I have the 50 pixels of margin, except I changed the right margin to -50, and that has pulled it over by 50 pixels. Okay, and then this next one, if I can get the whole row here, this is a row layout with 2 columns, and it has 2 equal columns. So in this one, I put in an image, and it has no padding and margin. I just left it the way it was. And then I put this image into the second column, and I added, you could see here the padding because it's blank. You can see the blue box is away from the image. If I come over here, you can see the 20 pixels of padding. When I hover over it, it's green. And you can also see the margin. It's hard to see because it's behind this box, but you can see the top margin is 50 pixels. That pushed it down, pushed the outside of the box down. And then this left margin is a -50, and that pulled it over to the side. So that's another way to kind of add interest. It's overlapping images, and it makes this very cohesive, and she's looking into the picture. It's really a nice little layout. Now this next one, um, so I have two columns, and I wanted the picture to be a little bit bigger. So I chose this, that's called left heavy because it's a larger column on the left. And I put an image inside there. Everything in WordPress, any blocks will have a natural padding and margin in them. So I haven't touched anything here, and you can see that there is padding around the edge of this because it's not right out to the edges. And then in this column, I put some advanced text and a button, and I put them in the same um, section. So I just clicked on the section, and you can see the blue line. It goes all the way down here. I'm sure you can't really see it on the screen. And I put the vertical alignment in the middle. Okay. And then and I put a white background in that section right here. I put a white background. So if I go over to the advanced tab, you can see there's no padding and margin. If I want to move that over to the left, I could put a negative, I'm going to try 50. Oops, 500 is too much. I want it even more. I'm going to try a negative 150. Okay, and I'm going to have to save this and then go and look at it. I'll refresh this. And here it is. And you can see that it pulled everything over. It made it shorter because the margins are pushing it down this way, and also the negative margin is pulling it out on top of the image. So it really is a nice layout also. And this can be used in a variety of different designs. So that's padding and margin in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, but this should get you going and enable you to at least see when there are issues, especially this first one where the text is like full width. Don't do that. Keep it narrow, keep it focused so that it's legible and people won't run screaming from your website. Okay, thanks.